Mom cried when she looked at her newborn, but later realizes it's a blessing. Raising a child with a disability can be physically, mentally, and emotionally challenging for the parents, as no amount of advice or research can prepare them for the adversities they have to face. When Evan Fascianco of Goshen, Connecticut came into the world, his parents were ready to welcome him with a smile on their faces, despite the fact that they had received a heart-wrenching news just 2 days before when he was born. Although the entire pregnancy went smoothly for Evan's mom, Dee Dee, she and her husband were later informed by the doctors about their baby's rare and debilitating illness that would dominate a large part of his life. Unfortunately, Evan suffered from a disease named harlequin ichthyosis, a terrible skin disorder that's characterized by the formation of scales due to abnormally rapid growth of the skin. Although the baby's parents knew about this beforehand, they were still shocked and devastated when they saw their newborn for the very first time. Not only was Evan born smaller and weaker than normal, but his eyes were encrusted by the scales on his skin, so much so that he couldn't even open his eyes. The scales also clumped together so the muscular movement in his limbs were highly limited. Upon seeing Evan in an incubator at the NICU, his parents couldn't help but burst into tears. Because of his condition, the infant had to stay in the ICU for at least 2 months, where the doctors would regularly remove the scales from his skin and make sure his ventilation isn't blocked. After all, this was the only way to increase Evan's chances of survival. While fully understanding the challenges that awaited their family, Evan's parents knew that they had to stay strong for their child. They even named him Evan, which meant the fighter, because they believed in him and had faith that together their family would be able to beat the odds. For weeks, the neonatal was blind until he finally opened his eyes and started displaying some signs of improvement. But this didn't mean that the disease was cured. At 5 years of age, Evan still required constant medical care at home, from Dee Dee bathing him twice a day to soften up his tough scales, to regular visits made by the pediatric nurses. Taking care of Evan wasn't easy at all. Because his skin grew so rapidly, it burned a lot of calories and consumed the majority of the little boy's energy, which is why he had to be fed energy-rich foods more often than a normal child his age, otherwise his life would be at risk. However, even during such challenges, Dee Dee would never complain and continued being there for her child while morally supporting him as well. And over time, it did turn out to be fruitful. Although his physical movements were limited, Evan was mentally brilliant and was able to communicate normally. Even when he couldn't walk, he did begin crawling, which was a major improvement for him. Moreover, besides his parents' constant support, another source of Evan's motivation was his 19-month-old brother, Vincenzo, who was learning to walk at the time, which would make Evan smile. The two brothers grew really close with time, and Vincenzo's presence only made Evan stronger. After he was able to sit on a wheelchair, Evan finally attended school as well, which he thoroughly enjoyed. Since the young boy was mocked, stared at, and sometimes bullied at public places due to his peculiar appearance and disability, Evan's parents were worried about the behavior of his classmates towards him, so they not only talked to the institute's management, but also the students. Surprisingly, Evan's classmates treated him as an equal, and even gave him the nickname Rockstar. On his 6th birthday, Evan could be seen smiling with confidence, holding a cupcake with a candle on it, a sight that showed the true meaning of staying strong and actually being the fighter. His parents always tried to give him a normal life, so that he never feels inferior to anyone or left out. Today, Evan continues to spread light and positivity around him by being a living example of perseverance and patience. Turns out, his illness actually brought his family closer and made his parents stronger than ever. It's truly amazing how holding on to hope and refusing to give up can turn an adversity into a blessing. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.